The 7 Strategies for Wealth and Happiness by Jim Rohn, the timeless blueprint that could change your life. Let me begin with a story. A young man sits alone, broke and confused, staring at a future that feels out of reach. That man was Jim Rohn. He wasn't born successful. He wasn't handed a fortune. What changed his life was not a lottery ticket or a stroke of luck. It was a mentor who challenged his mindset. That spark lit the fire that would eventually ignite millions of minds around the world. Jim Rohn would go on to become one of the most influential personal development thinkers of the 20th century. His philosophy wasn't complicated, but it was profound. In his book, 7 Strategies for Wealth and Happiness, he lays out not a quick fix, but a deep, enduring path. These aren't tips. These are principles, timeless, resilient, and transformational. Let's dive into each strategy, one by one, and stay with me until the end. Because we'll compare these ideas with 5 other legendary self-development books and draw out the hidden takeaways that even the summaries tend to miss. Strategy 1. Unleash the power of goals. The telescope of destiny. Goals, Rohn tells us, are not just targets. They're tools for becoming. A person without goals is like a ship drifting at sea, subject to every wave and current. But with goals, you become the captain. What makes Rohn's take different is this. Goals don't matter because of what you get. They matter because of what you become, he writes. The major reason for setting goals is to compel you to become the person it takes to achieve them. Think of your goals as they help you see the distant future. But more importantly, they bring your future into focus. They force you to confront who you are today and who you need to become tomorrow. When you set a goal, you're not just committing to an outcome. You're declaring war on stagnation. Start small. Set a goal that scares you a little and excites you a lot. Write it down. Then write who you'll need to become to reach it. Strategy 2. Seek knowledge. The hidden currency of the wealthy. Rohn's second strategy is deceptively simple. Become a lifelong learner. But beneath the surface, this is a radical act, because most people stop learning when they leave school, and yet the marketplace only rewards continued growth. He calls the library a gold mine. Not metaphorically, literally. One idea, he says, can change your entire life trajectory. But he doesn't just mean formal education. He means curiosity. He means taking notes when life speaks. He means treating every interaction, every book, every failure as tuition in the University of Greatness. Learn deliberately, learn strategically, and above all, learn with humility. Your income will never exceed your learning. Strategy 3. Learn to handle the seasons of life. The gardener's wisdom. This is perhaps Rohn's most poetic strategy. He compares life to the seasons, a metaphor borrowed from ancient philosophy, especially Stoicism. And just like nature, your life goes through cycles. Spring is for planting new relationships, new habits, new ventures. Summer is for protecting what you've planted, warding off weeds, distractions, bad influences. Autumn is for harvest and reaping what your actions sowed. And winter is for reflection and sometimes survival. You don't complain about winter. You prepare for it. Here's the wisdom. Don't expect summer in every season. Expect the season to change and prepare. Farmers don't argue with the weather. They adapt. Strategy 4. Master time. The most honest currency. Rohn is blunt about time. It is more valuable than money because you can get more of it. He warns against wasting time, not just because it's finite, but because it reveals your priorities. Your calendar doesn't lie. It shows you who you are, not who you claim to be. Time, Rohn says, must be invested, not spent. Like a financial investor, you must put your hours into people, ideas, and actions that compound. Ask yourself, where is my time going? Is it funding my future or just numbing my present? Strategy 5. Surround yourself with the right people. The law of influence. This strategy is more important than it seems. Rohn's famous quote, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." is not motivational fluff. It's behavioral science. We become what we tolerate. We mirror what we observe. If your friends joke about mediocrity, you'll laugh with them. If they talk about dreams, you'll start dreaming bigger. Relationships are not neutral. They are either pulling you forward or holding you down. Conduct a relationship audit. Who around you makes you sharper, bolder, better? Who drains your energy? Then act accordingly, without guilt. Strategy 6. Be a constant learner. The apprentice ethic. This goes beyond knowledge. This is about attitude, the humble hunger to never arrive. Rohn believed that the moment you stop learning, you stop decaying. He suggests approaching life like an apprentice, watching, asking. The apprentice mindset is about realizing that no matter how much you know, you've barely scratched the surface. There's always someone ahead, always a next level, always a better way. Start by asking one new question a day, and more importantly, listen for the answer. Strategy 7. Live a life of discipline. The invisible architect of freedom. And here it is, the final, perhaps most important strategy. Discipline. Rohn says it beautifully. Discipline is the foundation upon which all success is built. Lack of discipline inevitably leads to failure. Discipline isn't about punishment. It's about design. It's the ability to make decisions today that your future self will thank you for. Without it, dreams are castles made of sand. With it, you build stone by stone, even when the world isn't watching. Want freedom? Build a life of tiny, daily, boring disciplines. That's where the magic happens. A professor's critique for thoughtful challenges, to philosophical for beginners. The strategies, while elegant, may feel abstract to those who want step-by-step guides. It requires interpretation and initiative. Socioeconomic blind spots. Rohn's world assumes access to resources, mentors, books, and safe environments, not always realistic for struggling individuals. Over-individualistic. The emphasis on personal responsibility may overshadow the value of collaboration, activism, or systemic change. Underdeveloped case studies. The book lacks grounded, real-life examples of these strategies in action, which might help readers see the bridge from theory to practice. 3 transformational takeaways. You can start now. Build your success hour daily. Spend 60 minutes a day on reading, journaling, goal reviewing, or planning. Done consistently, this becomes your compound interest hour. Design a 3-person growth circle. Find 1 mentor, 1 peer, and 1 mentee. Engage weekly. Teach, learn, reflect. Start the 90-day discipline sprint. Pick 1 discipline and commit to it for 90 days. No breaks, just presence. Hidden parallels, where Jim Rohn echoes the great masters. 1. Atomic Habits by James Clear. Discipline meets design. The symphony of small wins. James Clear teaches us that habits are the compound interest of self-improvement. He works at the micro-level cue, craving, response, reward datling, the architecture of behavior. Rohn, in contrast, starts at the macro level, vision, values, philosophy. While Rohn inspires the soul, Clear programs the system. Rohn tells you why to change. Clear shows you how. Pair them, and you create an unbeatable blueprint. A strong why, driving a repeatable how. Rohn's discipline is clear. S. Identity-based habit. A feedback loop between who you believe you are and what you consistently do. Rohn says, discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Clear says, every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. Together, they whisper. Design your habits to honor your highest values. 2. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. The Inner Compass. Principles before performance. Covey and Rohn are spiritual cousins. Both warn against chasing success without anchoring it in internal character. Covey's habit 1 is Rohn's discipline. Habit 2 is goal setting. Habit 3 aligns with time management. What sets Covey apart is his deeper dive into interpersonal relationships and paradigm shifts. Whereas Rohn remains more focused on personal development as a vehicle for success, Covey gives us the map of a well-lived life. Rohn gives us the fuel. Covey teaches alignment, doing the right thing. Rohn emphasizes momentum, doing it consistently. Marry Covey's integrity with Rohn's urgency, and you become unstoppable. Rohn says, either you run the day or the day runs you. Covey says, the key is not to prioritize what's on your schedule, but to schedule your priorities. Together, they teach. Create a life you respect by acting from values, not reactions. 3. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, The Invisible Engine of Wealth. Thought, faith, and purpose. Hill was a dreamer, a mystic, a philosopher of wealth. His definiteness of purpose parallels Rohn's goals, but Hill adds layers of faith and desire as a creative force. Where Rohn is practical, Hill is metaphysical. What Rohn calls disciplines, Hill might call auto-suggestions made real. Both men agree. Wealth begins not with money, but with a transformed mind. Rohn strips the mysticism and turns Hill's mental alchemy into daily rituals. Hill wants you to believe you can. Rohn wants you to behave like you already do. Hill says, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Rohn says, we must all suffer one of two pains, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. Combined, they guide us. Dream in faith, execute in action. 4. The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. Behavior over brilliance. Emotional mastery as financial strategy revolutionizes our understanding of wealth by revealing that emotions, not equations, govern financial outcomes. He argues that time, patience, frugality, and humility beat intelligence, complexity, or even ambition. This view deeply complements Rohn's emphasis on time management and financial disciplines. Rohn teaches us to invest time wisely. Housel shows that how you think about time defines your wealth. Rohn shows that you need to master time to master wealth. Housel shows that your perception of time reveals your psychological relationship with money. Both reinforce this truth. Long-term thinking and calm decision-making are elite financial skills. Rohn says, time is more valuable than money. You can get more money, but you cannot get more time. Housel says, spending money to show people how much money you have is the fastest way to have less money. Together, they whisper. Quiet minds build loud fortunes. 5. The Millionaire Fastlane by M.J. DeMarco. Rejecting the slow death. From sidewalk to speed lane, DeMarco is a revolutionary. He rejects the idea of slow and steady. For him, trading time for money, working 40 years to retire at 65 is a scam. Rohn, more traditional, doesn't reject hard work or patience, but he never endorses stagnation. Where Rohn says, don't wait for success, build it, DeMarco screams it from the rooftops. Both believe in urgency, leverage, and autonomy, but DeMarco is blunt and aggressive, while Rohn is elegant and deliberate. Use Rohn's disciplines to build the infrastructure of success, and use DeMarco's entrepreneurial mindset to accelerate it. Without Rohn, you have speed with no stability. Without DeMarco, you risk mistaking busyness for progress. DeMarco says, if you're not free to walk away, you're not free. Rohn says, don't wish it were easier, wish it were better. Together, they chant, build your value and then scale it with speed and systems. Final reflection. The philosophy beneath the strategies. What unites all these great thinkers, Clear, Covey, Hill, Housel, and DeMarco, is a shared obsession with personal responsibility. They differ in tone, tactics, and tempo, but they agree on this. Success isn't found, it's forged through philosophy, practice, and persistence. Jim Rohn didn't just give us 7 strategies. He gave us a way of being rooted in character, lifted by vision, and made real by discipline. So here's a parting thought to leave you thinking. If your habits were put on trial, would there be enough evidence to convict you of becoming wealthy mentally, emotionally, and financially? Let me know in the comments. I'm curious.